Alright, hey guys! My name is Jordan, and this is from Jordan with Love. This is my first video, so I'm sorry the editing is probably going to be horrendous. But I just wanted to share something special with y'all. So right now it is currently 3:30, and I have a call for the Disney College program scheduled for 3:45, and it says that they're allowed to call you 15 minutes before and 15 minutes after that time, so any moment now I could be getting my call. But I just wanted to share with you kind of how I prepped for this after binge watching all the videos I did on YouTube, reading all the DCP blogs, everything. So I have my coffee in my cute little Buddha mug with my reusable straw, just because, you know, it's good to be a little nervous and a little jittery. I also have my cards with my top 5 preferences on them. Oh, can you see those? There you go. So on the back I just kind of wrote like little reasons why I'd be good at these things, so that way in case they do ask me that question, because I see that as kind of a common theme, I'm not just going blank and I actually have stuff that I've written down. No full sentences, just like bullet points or experiences that I think would help me if I were to get that role. I also have my handy dandy Moana notebook. I have it just because I've written in here some questions that I want to ask them. Also just some little tips that I've remembered, so that way if I, draw a blank, I can just look and I make sure I ask them things I actually want to ask them. Also, I printed out my application, so that way if they want me to clarify anything, I can look and see what I actually put down. So that way I'm not trying to think of things off the top of my head, and I have hard evidence right here to know what I put. It also helped me think about what I actually wrote down, because I applied about a week ago. Today it's August 28th, it's a Wednesday, and I applied almost exactly a week ago from today. I actually think less than that, but when you apply and when you're getting through the steps, you're just so excited that you really don't remember what you put. So I printed them out to make sure that I remember what I actually wrote down. And I also have a blank stack of index cards, just so that way I can write down the person's name, because it's very important, so I've heard. That's just even common courtesy to remember someone's name, so I have that. Also, in case they tell me any deadlines or anything else, any other information, I can write that down as well. I have my handy dandy pen and my marker. And yeah, now we wait. I'm really excited. Okay guys, so it's 4 o'clock. So I'm a little worried. It's actually 4:01 now. My interview was scheduled for 3:45, and it says to leave a 15-minute window before or after. So technically the 15-minute window for me is closed, but I still have yet to receive my phone call. So I'm a little nervous right now. I keep refreshing my application to make sure, and I did just check my email again, and it is set for today at 3:45. So I don't know what that means. Like I said, I'm very nervous. I'm hoping that maybe my interviewer is just running a little late. So fingers crossed, but I am definitely freaked out right now and really nervous. So yeah, I'll still be here waiting, but just an update. It is now 4:02. So we shall see. Hello?
Hello, may I speak to Jordan, please?
This is her.
Hello, Jordan. This is Christy calling from the Disney College program. How are you?
Good, how are you, Christy?
I am doing well, thank you. I was calling regarding your telephone interview with us tonight and wanted to see if this would still be a good time for you?
Yes, it's a great time.
Okay, all right, very good. Well, just to give you a little bit of an idea as far as what to expect, we are going to be on the phone usually for about up to 15 to 20 minutes. And what I'll be doing is just going through a few questions to learn a little bit more about you and about some of your work experience. We'll also be talking about some of the different roles that you indicated interest in, and then certainly want to take time for any questions that you might have at the end of the interview.
Okay, sounds perfect.
Okay, all right. So first of all, I did want to verify just a little bit of information with you. I do see from your application that you are currently attending school, is that right? Correct. Have you lived with roommates before?
I have.
Okay. Well, on the Disney program, you could be rooming with up to 7 other students all in the same apartment. Tell me about maybe some of the challenges that you've encountered when living with others and how you've learned to kind of work through those challenges.
So when I lived in housing, so in the dorms, my very first year, I actually had 6 roommates, so I've lived with many girls, and at first it was a little challenging because I was the only child for about 14 years, so I hadn't been in an experience where I've had to, see how long it takes other people to shower and whether people clean their dishes or not. So it's been challenging, but I've definitely gotten used to it, and I ended up loving living with other people. But one specific example that I can think of was I had a roommate who liked to take hour-long showers. And having to manage, for me personally, practice, work, as well as classes, I can't wait around to use one shower. So I ended up having to call a roommate meeting where we all sat down and we all put our schedules on like a big calendar whiteboard and said, okay, let's see who has class the earliest, who has a break here and there, so that way we can try to figure out who can use the shower when. And so we ended up making sure that everyone was able to use it in enough time, and we ended up being able to work things out with her to where she could at least cut her shower down to 20 minutes, because after an hour-long shower, there's no longer hot water for everyone. So once we just had an adult conversation and went over our own responsibilities, we were able to figure everything out.
Good. Okay. Tell me a little bit about what motivated you, what made you want to be a part of the Disney program.
So when I think of Disney, I can think all the way back to my childhood, and it was always so exciting for me to go. I've actually had an annual pass for the longest time, fortunately, and so every time I went, it was always this magical place. Even as I got older, I was always so excited to go. It didn't matter if there were long lines, being able to see the parades or just to go on Space Mountain was always such an exciting thing for me. And so for me, applying to the Disney program, it was always that idea that instead of being someone like a guest to see the magic, I'd be able to actually create the magic for others. And I think being able to have that role will just change my life for the better and help me grow as a person.
Now, I see that you are a performing arts major. You've got some interest in the character performer role. Had you planned on attending an audition for that role?
I've been looking into audition dates, actually, and I haven't seen many in my area, so I'm not too sure if I would be able to make one.
definitely a lot of different customers. And tell me about one of the more challenging customer situations maybe that you've had to deal with.
So in my most recent job, I was an orientation leader at my college. And with that, one of the most difficult things to deal with is parents. And that's because college is, an interesting transitional time where students now have to become responsible, and unfortunately, parents can't answer all the questions for them. So a lot of the times we have a lot of parents calling, asking for information or grades, certain information that we can't necessarily give out to them. So there's been lots of times where people haven't been the nicest over the phone, or have often used profanity towards me because they want the information that I'm not legally allowed to give them. And so just being able to remain calm, and being collective, and really trying my best to please them while at the same time respecting the guidelines that I have set for me, have been things that I've had to do when it comes to challenging parents over the phone.
Okay. The Anaheim audition is going to be September 29th. It's a Sunday.
September 29th. Perfect. Thank you so much for that, Christy.
Sure, you're welcome. Now, some of the roles on the Disney program, you could be working both indoors and outdoors. We're not able to guarantee either location. So how do you feel about working outside where you could be walking or standing for long periods of time?
Oh, that's no problem. I would love to experience the Florida weather. I'm from California, so I'm used to the heat.
Okay. All right. Now, in addition to that character performer position, I see you've got interest in several other roles as well. And to talk about a few of those, I saw you're interested in Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. Tell me about any experience that you have styling hair or doing makeup.
So for me personally, I've been a cheerleader and a dancer most of my life. So I'm used to having crazy glitter or bold lipstick. And at a young age, I had to learn how to do my hair myself. I have really crazy curly hair, so I've been able to deal with a lot of different hair types and figure out how to make someone look nice.
Okay, all right. Now, working in that particular role, there are times when some of the younger kids especially, they can get a little bit shy, even scared maybe, to have a stranger do their hair and makeup. How would you help in that particular situation?
I think in that particular situation, being able to kind of get down to their level and let them know that I was specially picked by the fairy godmother herself, to help them transition into the princess that they truly are. So I think being able to let them know that I've been specially picked to help them personally, and maybe even ask them if they want to come with me to pick the things that we do for them, would help them become a little bit more comfortable. And sometimes even just standing up when you're, an adult, you're so much taller than a little kid. So being able to bend down to them and, it makes them feel a little more comfortable.
Definitely. Okay. Tell me what interested you in the costuming operations position.
So for me, when I think of costuming operations, it's such a big role because costumes truly transform you from a guest to a cast member. The costumes are so obvious and they really help set you in your character zone when you're in your different land. And so being able to give everyone their costume and help them transform, I think is just a really important role for Disney World.
Okay. Now the costuming operations position, that is a backstage role, meaning that there's very little, if any, guest interaction. So what happens is your fellow cast members end up becoming that guest. So is that something that you are comfortable with?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, have you worked with costumes before, maybe in school?
Yes, so part of my performing arts degree, we do have to work in the theater as well. And we actually put on an end of the year production every year called Arts Under the Stars. And so I've had many opportunities for that production to not only choreograph and perform, but to also help with costumes. So I've been there since the very beginning, where we're just brainstorming how to express our ideas for our dance through costumes, as well as the end helping people doing fittings and things like that.
Gotcha. Okay. I also saw your interest in the front desk role as well. So working in that resort setting, the front desk position definitely a ton of guest interaction for sure. And there are times when maybe you will encounter guests that maybe have not had the best experience that day. For instance, you can have a family maybe that come back from the Magic Kingdom. Maybe they waited to go on Space Mountain. They were in line for a couple hours and the ride broke down. They never got a chance to ride it. So they're understandably upset and frustrated. What would you do to maybe help recover that situation?
I think when it comes to front desk, your main job is to really be able to remain calm and be able to please all the people you see. And so I think, because I have been that person who's waited hours in line for Space Mountain and then it breaks down right before you go on, it can definitely be disheartening. But I think as front desk, being able to talk to them and see what they can do, maybe if they had a stay the following day, letting them know the best time to go to that ride the following day, so that way it's more of a guarantee that they are able to get on. Or also mentioning some other rides that are like that ride, so that way if they're looking for that, roller coaster feel, they can get it somewhere else. But letting them know that there's definitely options and that Mickey is trying his best to make sure the rides work for the following day.
What are a few of the roles that you feel you'd be the most qualified to do on the Disney program?
For me personally, I think that the Bippity Boppity Boutique would probably be one of the places where I excel the most, just because I've worked with all different ages, and I know growing up, Libby Lou, which was like our version of the Bippity Boppity Boutique here in California, used to be one of my favorite places, and I probably had like 5 birthday parties there, so I definitely think I'd be suited for that. Also, I think some other things that I said I was interested in were like the character attendant, just being able to think on your feet and use, your mind to be able to address different situations with the characters, and seeing kids ask so many questions, being able to help with that, I think I would be great at as well. And the same thing goes with the front desk. I'm really good when it comes to interaction and problem solving. So I think being able to manage different situations with the guest after they've had a long day or when they arrive, I think I bring enough energy to be able to solve anything with them.
Now, based on the job description that you saw listed in the role checklist, as well as some of the positions that we spoke about tonight, do you feel that you would be able to perform all the essential job functions of the roles with or without a reasonable accommodation?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. All right. Very good. Well, those are actually all the questions that I do have for you tonight. So what happens from this point is you'll want to be checking your dashboard regularly for any information from us. That is how we will be able to let you know what the decision is and whether or not you're being offered a position on the program. So as far as when you might hear back from us, we do make decisions continuously.
Questions for you, if you don't mind, Christy.
Sure.
I was just wondering if you yourself have done the DCP, and if you have, how your experience was.
I actually grew up in Orlando, the Orlando area, I should say, my whole life, and so I did not attend or didn't participate in the college program, but instead just started working for the company on a part-time basis.
Okay.
And my first role was in the working in merchandise at the Grand Floridian Resort in Florida. And so I've got to work with lots of college program participants. I've been recruiting for the college program for many years now, and I feel like I've got a good taste of it, but I've never actually participated myself, which is actually unusual. We've got a lot of folks here in campus recruitment who that is how they got their start. So.
Okay. And my last question for you is just because I want to know, I'm curious, but who's your favorite Disney character?
My favorite Disney character? Well, I would say probably Belle, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say probably Belle and Winnie the Pooh.
Okay.
Good combination. Right?
Is yellow your favorite color?
Actually, no. It's not. Yeah, it's not the color so much, but it looks good on her. But no, Belle, I would say is probably my favorite. So.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Christy, for your time.
You are very welcome. Thank you very much for taking time to interview with us tonight. It was a pleasure to speak with you. And like I said, just be checking your dashboard, and we'll let you know what happens from here.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You too.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.